to remember that love is more powerful than hate, that light will vanquish darkness always, and that we don't come against evil with violence. We come against violence with resolve and with open hearts. So I invite you now, let's just bring together the energy of our hearts and minds for a moment and imagine this country, this world, as a place where people can thrive without fear of violence. And let all the people say, Amen.
Now, fans, let's give And at this time, please stay standing and welcome Miss Carly Rice with a performance of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
terrific rendition of both the national anthem and Lift Every Voice and Sing. It is Juneteenth night at Regency Furniture Stadium. The Blue Crabs have rebranded as the Baltimore Elite Giants, who were a member of the Negro Leagues years ago, as the Blue Crabs, of course, local to Baltimore, and they have these amazing new jerseys out tonight that say Baltimore Elite Giants on them. I'm glad that we're able to bring this night to you via YouTube and Facebook on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, let's jump into the game in just a couple of moments. But first, we'll run you through the lineup, starting with the Lancaster Barnstormers, who will hit off of Denson Hull tonight. It's Sean Dunston Jr. who leads off. He's in center field. Melvin Mercedes bats second. He's at second base. And Trendy Cordero bats third. He is the designated hitter. The cleanup hitter is in right field tonight. That is Ladarius Clark. Batting fifth, it's the left fielder Trayvon Robinson. Batting sixth, it is the first baseman Colton Shaver. Trace Lair bats seventh. He's at third base. Anthony Peroni is doing the catching tonight. He bats eighth, and closing out the order at shortstop, it is Jake Hoover. Well, let's give you the rundown on Denson Hull. Hull in his third year of professional baseball. He gets a start for the Blue Crabs tonight. It's his 11th start of the year. It's been a bit of a tough go in the month of June. His ERA at 8.40 in this month. He had a terrific start to the year. Across his first 5 starts, he had a 0.68 ERA. His last time out against Charleston, he went 4 2/3 innings, allowed 5 runs, 6 walks, with just 2 hits. He does not get hit all that much, allowed just 45 hits across 52 innings. We'll bring you around the Blue Crabs diamond. It's Jack Sundberg in left, Zach Collier in center, Braxton Lee in right. Alex Crosby at third, Michael Baca at short, Michael Wolanski at second, Jared Walker back at first base tonight. Ryan Haug is behind the plate, the designated hitter not in the field tonight, Joe DeLuca. We're just about ready to go. The Blue Crabs coming off of a 4-3 walk-off win in 10 innings, their third walk-off in as many days. The Blue Crabs walked things off twice on Wednesday, and another walk-off win yesterday. Blue Crabs also winners of 6 consecutive games. Won the last game at Charleston. And the Blue Crabs swept Staten Island in 4 games and win the opener against the Barnstormers. Your umpires tonight, Mike Williams is behind the plate, Jerry Burrish at first, and Bill Worthington is at third base. Worthington having a quick conversation with Matt Latos down the third base line. But now it's Dunston who steps in. Hull on the rubber, and the first pitch is a called strike. Right down Darryl Thompson. Drive in the count, no balls, and 1 strike. For those of you who are newer to the Blue Crabs broadcast, we say right down Darryl Thompson drive because the 0-1 pitch is a little bit away, count 1 ball and 1 strike. The reason we say that is that Darryl Thompson has a street named after him. And instead of saying right down Main Street, right down Broadway, might as well just use what we've got here. 1-1 offering, a little bit up and away. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Not to mention that Darryl Thompson has some of the best control in the Atlantic League when he went full 9 innings yesterday. Not a complete game. I was going to say a complete game, but he didn't because it was 10 innings. Andres Briseño pitched the 10th, but he went 9 innings, did not walk a batter. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball over to the right side. It's Wolanski who fields it routinely. Thigh high, and he tosses to first in time for the first out. 1 away in the top of the first inning from Regency Furniture Stadium. The Barnstormers come into this one with a 21-29 record, 17 games back from the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland has a 13-game lead atop the North Division, could clinch the first half title and a playoff spot as soon as tomorrow. With a pair of Blue Crabs wins and a pair of Ducks losses, Southern Maryland could clinch tomorrow. Otherwise, they look to clinch on the road in Staten Island. The first pitch runs inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. With 1 away in the top of the first, no score from the Reg in Waldorf. The Blue Crabs rebranded today, I should say, as the Baltimore Elite Giants. The 1-0 pitch, called strike in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's in celebration of Juneteenth, which is a national holiday now to recognize the freeing of all the slaves. Happened back in 1965 after the Civil War when the Union soldiers came through Texas, as the 1-1 pitch is a called strike in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll have a Civil War trivia question for you today. That, of course, comes in the 6th inning, written in our YouTube chat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch a little bit low and in. Nicely blocked by the catcher Haug in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Melvin Mercedes. 1 out in the top of the 1st inning between the Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs. Glad you decided to join us on what is a terrific Saturday evening in a packed house at the Reagan Waldorf. Hull set, gets a sign from Haug, the 2-2 pitch, just a little upstairs, count 3-2. Well, the command hasn't been perfect for Haug tonight. He's missing around the zone. He's fallen behind in the count, 3-2. It's a full count on the righty, Mercedes. Here's the pitch. Upstairs is ball 4. Blue Crabs starter Denson Hull walked 6 batters in his last start at Charleston. Blue Crabs picked up a win in that ballgame. It was the first win of what's become a 6-game road trip, or 6-game winning streak, I should say. This is the 5th game of a 6-game homestand before the Blue Crabs hit the road at Staten Island. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch to Andretti Cordero, who bats from the right side, is away for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Some serious wind yesterday into today. I got a run in this morning in Waldorf, and the wind was howling. And still a strong breeze out toward right center field. Denson Hull tosses over to first base to check on Mercedes, who easily back into the bag. So expect some balls to carry out toward right center a little bit extra. 1-0 pitch, fouled back to the netting in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. The wind is really moving out there. About 20 miles an hour. And normally people say, oh, you know, the ball might carry a little bit of the wind. And it might be a couple of feet on most days. It's a little more than that today. As Hull tosses back over to check on Mercedes. And again tossing over, that one much closer as Walker managed to apply the tag, and Hull didn't even move his feet that time. It was just a direct throw. He's looking to pick off Mercedes. It's the 3rd time he's thrown over. Meanwhile, the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 offering. Called strike on the outer half, count 1-2. Denson Hull has set himself up nicely in this count, ahead on the powerful righty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cordero 3 for 5 in the series. And the pitch, that one low, throw down to second. He's back to the bag in time. Oh, the 1-1-2 pitch, I beg your pardon, it was strike 3. I beg your pardon on that one. He swung through a pitch low, and there are 2 away. Just caught the end of that pitch, missed the swing, and there are 2 away now in the top of the 1st inning. Runner on first base still. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Ladarius Clark. 2 away, top of the 1st inning. A 1-0, or I beg your pardon, 0-0 score. First pitch from Hull. Line drive, right field side, going to get out of play against Ladarius Clark. count, no balls and 1 strike. Clark was 0 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. Had a 15-game hit streak back in the month of May. Was 24 for 64 in that 15-game hitting streak. Pitch, high fly ball. This one to shallow right, a long run. It's going to drop. Braxton Lee, along with Jared Walker and Michael Wolanski, converged on that ball, and no one got there in time. Meanwhile, it's Mercedes from first to third. A 2-out bloop single down the right field line. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Trayvon Robinson. Well, Denson Hall induced a pop-up. Should have been enough to get out of the inning, but it dropped in no man's land down the right field line. Robinson waves the bat behind his head. Pitch, that comes inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. 2 away in the top of the first inning, with our 2 on for the Barnstormers. Mercedes from third, Clark from first. As the Baltimore Elite Giants, 1-0 pitch, foul tip off the shin guard on the left leg. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Baltimore Elite Giants looking to get out of this inning is the name the Blue Crabs are using for the day. Southern Maryland has rebranded as the Baltimore Elite Giants in honor of the Juneteenth holiday. It's the official celebration in the county at Regency Furniture Stadium. The pitch, that's low and in, and actually may have hit the batter. Yes, it did. It hit Trayvon Robinson. The bases are loaded. Still 2 away, but things getting a little more threatening for the Barnstormers. There's a 1-out walk issued to Melvin Mercedes. Strikeout to Cordero. Ladarius Clark had a pop-up single down the right field line. And put runners on the corners with 1 out, or with 2 outs. And now Trayvon Robinson hit by the pitch. And it brings up Colton Shaver. Bases loaded and 2 outs from Regency Furniture Stadium. 3 base runners on just 1 hit for the Barnstormers. Denson Hall wipes his face, steps back on the rubber. Left arm dangling. So he gets a sign from Haug. Hall the pitch. A little bit low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes now on the righty Shaver. Under perfectly blue skies this evening. Temperatures are cooler today than they were yesterday. And the 1-0 pitch cut on, foul back to the netting. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Temperatures 74 degrees. Especially in the sunlight, but the heavier winds make it feel a little bit cooler than that. Shadows move across the infield for now. 1-1 pitch, line drive, deep right field, sends Lee back to the warning track, and he makes the catch overhead in front of the wall for the final out in the top of the first inning. The Barnstormers threaten. They leave 3 on base. They had 1 hit at the end of the top of the first inning. There's no score from the Reg in Waldorf. The Blue Crabs come to bat when we come back.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, it's Jack Sundberg who comes to the plate. In the bottom of the first inning, the Blue Crabs and the Barnstormers are scoreless from Regency Furniture Stadium. Blue Crabs have rebranded as the Baltimore Elite Giants today. In honor of Juneteenth, first pitch is a called strike from Oscar De La Cruz. Is a right-handed pitcher. We'll run you through the Blue Crabs lineup and the Lancaster's defensive alignment in a couple of moments. The 0-1 pitch, big wave and a miss from Jack Sundberg. Oscar De La Cruz with a 5.19 ERA, but like Benson Hull, he's had a tougher time in the month of June. Has a 7.04 ERA this month. 0-1 pitch, top foul from Jack Sundberg, the lefty. Back behind home plate, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, against the Lexington Legends, back on June the 12th, he went 4 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer. He also walked a pair. 1-1 pitch. Or the 0-2 pitch, I should say, a little bit low and in, count 1-2. A gutsy take that time for Jack Sundberg on a pitch that was close. Well, glad you decided to join us under sunny skies on a Saturday evening. 1-2. Again, a tapper foul behind home plate, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sundberg. Really terrific evening. There is some wind, and again, it's going out toward right center field. Pitch, line drive, foul. Third base side, going to get into the seats. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jack Sundberg. Let's run you through the Blue Crabs lineup. We're going by the Elite Giants today. De La Cruz gets a sign from his catcher Peroni. 1-2 pitch, that's low and in. Sundberg takes, count 2-2. It's Jack Sundberg who's in left field. He leads things off. Michael Wolanski is at second base. He bats second. Zach Collier bats third. He's in center field. Jared Walker is the cleanup hitter. He's at first base. Alex Crosby bats fifth. He's at third base. Joe DeLuca is the DH today. He bats sixth. Braxton Lee bats seventh. He's in right field. As the 2-2 pitch is away, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Sundberg. Again, Braxton Lee is batting seventh in right field. Ryan Howell bats eighth. He's doing the catching, and Michael Baca closes out the order. He is at shortstop. Again, your umpires today, it's Michael Williams behind the plate as the 2-2 pitch called strike 3. Michael Williams rings him up on a pitch knee high, and right down the middle, there is 1 away in the bottom of the first. No score between the Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs. Your umpiring crew, we only got halfway through before Michael Williams rung up Jack Sundberg. Jerry Burrish is at first base and Bill Worthington at third. Michael Wolanski digs in. First pitch, line drive foul back behind home plate. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Well, Wolanski coming off of what was an outstanding day yesterday. Have the game-tying hit. Not only an outstanding game yesterday, but an outstanding month of June with the Blue Crabs. 0-1 pitch from De La Cruz. It's low and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Michael Wolanski with the Blue Crabs across the month of June is hitting .408, the .516 OPS, a .612 slugging percentage, and an .1128 OPS. 1-1 pitch, called strike from Michael Williams. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the right-handed hitter. 4 for 5 in yesterday's contest. Earned a pair of doubles and drove in a pair of runs. 9 for 17 on this homestand. 1-1 pitch, driven foul back behind, or 1-2 pitches driven foul behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wolanski will be followed by Collier, who pinch hit for David Harris yesterday. David Harris is out of the lineup today. 1-2. That's low and away. Count 2-2. David Harris was battling some injuries on that last extended 13-game road trip. Got back into action last week and was pulled out of yesterday's game after just 3 plate appearances. 2-2 pitch. That's well outside. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Michael Wolanski. A couple of nice plays from Anthony Peroni, the catcher for the Barnstormers. To glove those balls in the dirt. They're away, they're low, they're tough to get to. 3-2 pitch. Line drive toward right field, down the line, and it goes over into foul territory. It's a foul ball down that line. It was a very tough view. Did he make the catch? Oh, it appears he did. The ball caught out there in the right field corner from Ladarius Clark. We have no view down that line. I apologize, but there's just no way to see anything down the right field line from my vantage point. But it was caught out in right field in the corner. As far as I could see, all I saw was the umpire motion foul. He never put up the fist, but it is out number 2 nonetheless. And there are 2 away now in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes Zach Collier. Zach Collier had a terrific year last season. This year the numbers aren't quite there. First pitch is low and in for ball 1. And when I say he had a terrific year, one of the best bats in the entire league. One-0 pitch. Big wave and a miss on a breaking ball. It's a really nice pitch from Oscar De La Cruz, who just threw his 18th pitch in the first inning. 18 pitches for De La Cruz. For Hull, he threw 22. 1-1 pitch. High pop-up into shallow right center field. It's the right fielder, Ladarius Clark, who moves in to make the catch for the final out. The Blue Crabs are retired in order. We're finished with one from the Reg in Waldorf. Don't go anywhere. It's the Lancaster Barnstormers coming to bat when we come back.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, Trey Slater will get things started in the top of the second for the Lancaster Barnstormers in a scoreless ball game from Regency Furniture Stadium. Happy to have you with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. The first pitch just off the outside corner. And the count, no ball, or 1 ball and no strikes. Just a little bit away to Lair. Will be Trace Lair, followed by Anthony Peroni and Jake Hoover here in the second. 1-0 pitch. That's a called strike from Mike Williams. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Here's the pitch. High pop up third base side. It sends Crosby back in front of the outfield grass, still on that infield dirt where he makes the catch for the first out. 1 away in the top of the second inning. Ryan Haug's using a different mask today. It's more like a hockey goalie mask than it is a catcher's mask, and I'm sure the result or the reason is that he was hit up in the jaw on his traditional catcher's mask back on Monday, or Tuesday, I guess it was, against the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. It was the first game of this homestand. He was out for Wednesday's doubleheader and the game on Thursday, back in last night's contest. The pitch, that's up and away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes with 1 away in the top of the second inning. It's Anthony Peroni who will be followed by Jake Hoover. Line drive on the 1-0 pitch, foul, first base side. Well struck, got to get out of the way of that ball, it can get dangerous. Very sizable crowd on hand tonight from Regency Furniture Stadium. A lot of fans on the concourse level as the 1-2 pitch. A little bit up and in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Or 2-1. A lot of fans in the concourse level and a sizable group in the seating bowl down below. Hull, the 2-1 offering. Foul ball off the inside of his left ankle. It's a painful one for Anthony Peroni as he walks it off. Now seems to be doing just fine. That shin guard is paying dividends. Top of the second inning, scoreless ball game from the Reagan Waldorf. Hull getting the sign from his catcher Hull getting the sign from his catcher Haug. Full count, or the 2-2 I should say, on the pitch upcoming to Anthony Peroni. The offering. Line drive, first base side, down the line, it drops foul. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains on the 8-hitter Peroni, who's doing the catching tonight for the starter Oscar De La Cruz. Peroni was the designated hitter in yesterday's ball game. But today it's Andretti Cordero. Yesterday Cordero at first, and it was Colton Shaver behind the plate. The 3 of them just doing a bit of a merry-go-round. 2-2 pitch up and away, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Anthony Peroni. It's a Saturday night in the middle of June from the Reg in Waldorf. Doesn't get much nicer than this. Enjoying a baseball game. That's a 3-2 offering. Line drive up the middle, base hit. A 1-out single for Anthony Peroni, who ropes that pitch right back where it came from. A long and hard-fought at bat for both Denson Hull and Anthony Peroni, and the catcher Peroni wins the battle. He was hitting just 148 coming into that at bat. But he did well not only to work a deep count, but also to put a good bat on the ball. And so there's 1 on with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Jake Hoover slides his bat across home plate. Now places it back behind his helmet in a scoreless ball game in the top of the second. First pitch, line drive foul, first base side. And the count 1 ball or no balls and 1 strike. 1 on and 1 out in the top of the second for the Barnstormers. Matchup between the Barnstormers and the Baltimore Elite Giants, which is the name the Blue Crabs have assumed for the day. A 1 pitch foul back. Count no balls and 2 strikes on the 9-hitter Hoover. Hoover will be followed by Shawan Dunston if necessary in the top of the 2nd inning. Denson Hall faced 6 batters in the first. He stranded the bases loaded against the Barnstormers. Now there's 1 on with 1 out. Count 0-2. Pitch to Hoover. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Hoover goes down on a breaking ball in the dirt. And he was the Landon Ices and Creams K-Man. If you don't know what that is, Landon's Ices and Creams K-Man is a promotion the Blue Crabs have with Landon's Ices and Creams. And there is a K-Man every day, and if he strikes out in a ball game, well, then a certain section will earn a coupon to Landon's Ices and Creams. 1 on, 2 outs. Top of the 2nd inning against the Barnstormers. First pitch. That's away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Two away, top of the 2nd inning. Denson Hull's pitch count is up. 36 total pitches. He's thrown 21 strikes. 1-0 is low in the dirt. It was the catcher for the Blue Crabs, Haug, who wasn't able to handle it perfectly, but kept it in front of him, which keeps the base runner, Anthony Peroni, at first. Was away, count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch now. That's a little bit outside as well. The count 3 balls and no strikes. So we talked about control issues for Denson Hall. He walked 1 in the first. He hit 1 in the first. And now behind in the count 3-0. Pitch. That's on the inner half in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. On the lefty, Shawan Dunston. On the year, Dunston hitting .273. 3-1 pitch. Ground ball foul, first base side, count 3-2. Now, Andretti Cordero is normally in the 3 spot, but Kelly Dugan, who is unavailable for this series for the Barnstormers, is typically in that cleanup spot. He is out today and will be for the next few days with illness. Count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes now on the leadoff hitter, Dunston. Pitch, ground ball foul yet again. A deep count worked from Shawan Dunston. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. 1 on, 2 outs. Top of the 2nd inning, the Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs are scoreless. Anthony Peroni, they lead off of first base. He singled earlier in this inning. Hull set. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Line drive. Right field. It's going to fall for extra bases and go all the way to the wall. They wave around Peroni. He's going to score all the way from first base and diving into third with an RBI triple. It's Shawan Dunston. The Barnstormers are on the board in the top of the 2nd inning on a triple from Shawan Dunston here in the 2nd. A 1-0 lead for Lancaster. That ball is drilled to the right side. Well, the Barnstormers score first. This is not a unique sight for the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland has scored first in less than 50% of their ball games, but they win in excess of a 75% rate. Hull gets the sign from his catcher, Ryan Haug. It was on a 3-2 pitch that Shawan Dunston has put Lancaster ahead. This pitch low. Is it a foul tip? I guess it was. It was not motioned by the home plate umpire, Mike Williams, but the runner on third base, that's Shawan Dunston, not going anywhere, and the count 0-1. Runner on third with 2 outs. Hull has surrendered the first run of this ball game here in the 2nd. Pitch. High chopper over toward third base. Fielded by Crosby. The toss to first is in time. Well, the Barnstormers score a run, An RBI triple off the bat of Dunston has given Lancaster a 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the second on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
We're happy you've joined us on a Saturday evening. 1-0 Barnstormers as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Blue Crabs will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. That's Jared Walker, followed by Alex Crosby and Joe DeLuca. First pitch, big wave and a miss from the lefty Crosby. It's an off-speed pitch, low and out of the zone, but he swung and missed. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on the lefty. Oh, 1. A little bit away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. That pitch was close, though, from Oscar De La Cruz. And the count even at 1-1 in the bottom of the second. Barnstormers scored 1. It was a single from Peroni and a triple later in the inning from Dunston. As the 0-1 pitch is a called strike. It just clipped the lower and inside part of the zone. That second pitch was close. Trackman, our pitch technology, put it in the zone. 1-2 pitch, foul tipped into the mitt of the catcher, Shaver. And there is 1 away. It's the second strikeout for Oscar De La Cruz. And it brings up Alex Crosby. Crosby in the midst of an impressive 8-game hit streak. On the homestand, he's 7 for 19. 1 for 5 in the last contest. We've talked about that word, consistency. There's one player that embodies it, it's Alex Crosby. First pitch, was called a strike on the outside corner from the home plate umpire, Michael Williams, and the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch, check swing, but Michael Williams says he goes around, and the count 0-2. Was going to motion down to the third base umpire, Bill Worthington, but Williams says, you know what, I got this myself. He went around. 1 away in the bottom of the second, a 1-0 Blue Crabs, I beg your pardon, Barnstormers lead. 1-2 pitch, strike 3. Crosby swings and misses at a pitch a little bit out of the zone. Pitch was outside, but Crosby swung through it. There are 2 away. In the bottom of the second inning, 5 up and 5 down from the starter, Oscar De La Cruz. He's been terrific to get things going. as Joe DeLuca will dig in from the left side. He restraps the batting gloves. It's Braxton Lee who stands on deck. Joe DeLuca takes a couple of practice swings. First pitch, big wave and a miss. Count 0-1. Fastball, knee high. In the count again, no balls and 1 strike with the base paths empty. It's the Barnstormers who took the lead in the top of the second. DeLuca digs back in. Choked up on the bat a little bit, about an inch on ahead of that knob. The 0-1 pitch, another cold strike taken on the outside corner in the count 0-2. De La Cruz is dealing right now. Juneteenth celebration night in Charles County here at the Reg as the 0-2 pitch way inside on Joe DeLuca in the count 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the switch hitting catcher who's batting from the left side. The Blue Crabs have rebranded as the Baltimore Elite Giants. A former Negro Leagues team. One-two pitch, line drive down the third base line. It goes for the extra bases into the corner. DeLuca rounds first. He pulls on the brakes at second base. It's a 2-out double and the first Blue Crabs hit of the evening. Well, Joe DeLuca, the switch hitting catcher, had struggled from the left side of the plate. He's been hitting much better from the right side, hitting over 500 from the right side, in fact. But he goes the other way with that line drive down the third baseline, and it sneaks inside that left field line, goes all the way to the wall. He reaches second with a 2-out double as Braxton Lee will come to the plate. Joe DeLuca had the game-winning RBI single in last night's game. Was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts before he roped one up the middle to get things going in the 10th inning. First pitch, called strike on the outside corner against Braxton Lee. Lee was 3 for 4 last night as well. His batting average up to 292. Lee played the majority of the year last year with the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds. The 0-1 pitch, that crosses up the catcher, and he can't find it. And now the runner, Joe DeLuca, from second to third. Anthony Peroni had a lot of trouble with it. He thought fastball was coming. He then recognized the curveball, did not catch it, and found it low in the dirt. And I think that at this point, it's just the catcher Peroni and Oscar De La Cruz going over signs. As Braxton Lee out of the batter's box right now with the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Runner on third base with 2 outs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. On the lefty Lee. Pitch, foul ball back to the netting. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Count 1 and 2 now on the lefty. The only batter in the Blue Crabs lineup with MLB experience. 2 away in the bottom of the second. Blue Crabs with just 1 hit so far. 1-2 pitch. Line drive foul back to that protective netting on the third base side. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. A longer at bat now for Braxton Lee. This will be the 6th pitch of the at bat. De La Cruz gets the sign from his catcher Anthony Peroni. Pitch, swing and a miss. Well, Oscar De La Cruz allows a double, but he strikes out the side in the bottom of the second. A strikeout to Walker, a strikeout to Crosby, and another one to Braxton Lee. We're finished with 2 innings of play from the Reagan Waldorf. It's 1-0 Barnstormers on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This seat was made possible.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
I want to bring you back in the top of the 3rd inning as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs trail 1-0. Lancaster Barnstormers will start with Andretti Cordero, who bats 3rd in this lineup. First pitch, swinging a ground ball foul, third base side, and the count 0-1. 5 base runners have reached across the first 2 innings for the Barnstormers. And the first was a single, a walk, and a hit batsman. 0-1 delivery. Called strike. Knee high on the outer half. Cordero doesn't like the call. Has some words for the home plate umpire, Mike Williams. Nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. A 1-0 lead for the Barnstormers. Denson Hull's set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball a little bit away in the count 1-2. Well, going back to the 5 base runners. Lancaster had the 3 reach in the first, and then a single in the second, followed by an RBI triple down the right field line. Base paths empty with nobody out. Hull is set. Gets a sign from his catcher, Ryan Haug. The pitch. Ground ball foul back behind home plate from Andretti Cordero, the right-handed DH. Cordero bats .295 with 7 home runs and OPS near 800. With Kelly Dugan out, it just puts a massive dent in that Barnstormers order. 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Cordero holds up. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a great throw from Hull back to the mound, or from Haug back to Hull, as Hull had trouble handling it. Either way, Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. Your Civil War trivia starts in the top of the 4th. We're going to have 2 different trivia questions tonight. 2-2, ground ball up the middle for a base hit. 1 on with nobody out in the top of the 3rd.
Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Ladarius Clark.
Ladarius Clark will step in. He kicks around some dirt from the right side. Number of different people from around the press box help out with these trivia questions. I did the first maybe 30, and I get all the ones on the road. But here at home, we have people who like to help out with the trivia questions. We always appreciate it. Runner on first with nobody out. First pitch, foul ball back behind home plate, and the count 0-1. Amanda Batchelder, she was the one who came up with our first trivia question. Matt Hopeful. Blaine Pilkerton, oftentimes coming in clutch with questions. Today it's Matt Hopeful. 0-1. It's a called strike, and the count no balls and 2 strikes now on Ladarius Clark. Nobody out in the top of the 3rd. No balls and 2 strikes now on the righty Clark. Hull leans in, gets a sign from Haug. 0-2 pitch. Just inside, count 1-2. Jared Walker over at first base today. He's keeping an eye on Andretti Cordero, who led off this inning with a single. As he punched the ball back up the middle. 1-2 offering from Hull. Low in the dirt, nicely blocked. Runner now going to head off towards second. Wilansky has trouble handling it. It goes all the way into center field. Collier comes up with it. And now there's a runner on third base with nobody out. It's going to go down as a wild pitch as it was in the dirt. And the catcher for the Blue Crabs, Ryan Haug, threw that ball to the third base side of second. Wilansky had it deflect off of his glove, get past the backup man. That's Michael Baca. Then it was the center fielder, Zach Collier, who had to get to that ball in left center field. Cordero easily to third base with nobody out. 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, count 3-2. Another deep count for Denson Hull, who's gone 2+ innings of work and thrown 55 pitches. A long first and a long second inning coupled with a tough third. The 3-2 pitch is outside. Ball 4, it was close, just missed off the outside corner. Everything was in that at bat, and then Hull threw something on the outside part of the plate, and it just missed. Our trackman says that it was right on that corner for a strike, but our home plate umpire, Mike Williams, says nope, it was outside. As they say, painting the black, that's the edges of the strike zone. First pitch, high chopper over towards short. There's one play, it's at first base. Baca fires, it's in time, but meanwhile the Barnstormers pick up their second run of the inning. From first to second, it's Ladarius Clark who is off on the pitch. So it's 2-0 Barnstormers in the third, with Ladarius Clark on second base. Trayvon Robinson picks up the RBI on the ground out to short. Barnstormers 2, Blue Crabs nothing. It's Colton Shaver who steps back in. Hull looks back the runner at second as he steps off. Under blue skies, the Barnstormers have a 2-0 lead over the Baltimore Elite Giants, the name the Blue Crabs have assumed today. Throw back towards second base as Wilansky catches it chest high. No way to apply the tag in time as Ladarius Clark dives in safely. Colton Shaver is still awaiting his first pitch of this at-bat. Meanwhile, his Barnstormers have 2 runs across 2 1/3. Runner goes, throw down to third. It's a good one, and it's not in time. Bill Worthington was about to punch him out. You could see him almost moving in that direction, and then he pulled out the safe side. A bang play at third base, a strong throw from Ryan Haug. By the time that Alex Crosby tagged him, though, Ladarius Clark safe at third base, so an opportunity to trade another run with an out. On another stolen base from Ladarius Clark. Short lead off of third base, the infield in yet again. Pitch to Shaver, that's inside. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 run in for Lancaster here in the top of the third. It's a 2-0 lead overall for the Barnstormers. 1 in the second and 1 in the third. They're threatening for more, though, with a runner on third base and 1 out. Here's the pitch. High pop-up, first base side. That one's sailing into the crowd, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blue Crabs celebrate Juneteenth. It is the official Juneteenth celebration of Charles County. And in honor of Juneteenth, which is the day all the slaves were freed back in 1965, we're going to have some Civil War-related trivia. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Shaver goes down on strikes on a breaking ball low and out of the zone. For Denson Hull, it is the 3rd strikeout of the evening. And Trace Lair will dig in from the left side. Lair hitting just 198, but we've seen time and time again the batters who don't always come in with the best averages can put up hits in timely moments. Earlier in this one, it was Peroni who singled and came around to score on a triple. Peroni was hitting just 148. First pitch, lined foul back toward the dugout. And DJ, who is the bat boy, had to get out of the way of the ball. It was coming right at him. Bert Hinman, the cameraman, also over there in the dugout. Stan Clyburn gives everybody the thumbs up. We're ready to go. 0-1 pitch, swinging a one-hopper over toward third. Fielded belt high by Crosby. He fires across the diamond in time for the final out. Well, Denson Hull allows a pair of base runners and a single run to cross home plate. It's the Barnstormers who now lead it 2-0 at the end of 2.5. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by, and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Bottom of the third inning from the Reg in Waldorf. Barnstormers 2, the Blue Crabs nothing. First pitch is off the outside corner for ball 1 on Ryan Haug. Haug the catcher tonight, Joe DeLuca in the DH spot. Give you a few comments from our YouTube chat. Some shout outs today. The 1-0 pitch, a called strike at the knees, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the righty Ryan Haug. What is a terrific Saturday evening for baseball. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, called strike. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the third. Lancaster 2, Blue Crabs nothing. Multi Apples makes his appearance known yet again. He says good game. Rusty is great, says let's go Blue Crabs. 1-2 pitch, wave and a miss, another strikeout from Oscar De La Cruz. That's his 5th of the evening as Ryan Haug goes down swinging. Well, De La Cruz struck out the side in the second and also struck out the leadoff batter, Jack Sundberg, on a 3-2 pitch. Here's Michael Baca. First pitch from De La Cruz. Called strike, belt high, count 0-1. We'll get to our trivia question next inning. Again, some Civil War related trivia in honor of Juneteenth today. Well, strikeout numbers are normally especially high from De La Cruz. 1-1 pitch fought off back to the screen. Count 1-2 now on Baca. Or 0-2. De La Cruz has 32 strikeouts this season across 34 2/3 innings. So you're looking at just about 1 strikeout an inning, actually a little less on average. 0-2, low and away, count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Barnstormers lead this one 2-0. Oscar De La Cruz, the righty, dominant so far. 1-2 pitch, low and away, count 2-2. Through 2 1/3, his pitch count a little bit up. Just through the 43rd pitch of his appearance. 2-1 offering. Line drive foul back behind home plate. For someone who's only allowed 1 base runner through 2 1/3, you would think the pitch count would be maybe in the 30s, low to mid 30s. It's in the mid 40s now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. De La Cruz the pitch. Called strike 3. No doubt about that one. Hard fastball at 95 right down Broadway, and there are 2 outs. Oscar De La Cruz is dealing. 45 pitches tonight, 25 strikes, or 32 strikes, I should say. And a 2-0 lead for the Barnstormers. It's Jack Sundberg who digs in from the left side. There is a slight shift on him. First pitch called strike at the knees, count 0-1. Over at third base, Trace Lair is shaded slightly over toward where shortstop would be. His feet in on the grass. It's a testament to Jack Sundberg's interest in bunting as the 0-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss. And now Trace Lair over at third takes some steps back toward the middle of the infield dirt, with the chances of bunt significantly down. Sundberg to be followed by Wolanski if necessary with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. The pitch, swing and a miss. Sundberg strikes out for the 2nd time today. It's the 6th strikeout, or the 7th strikeout of the day from Oscar De La Cruz. He continues to dominate. He strikes out the side here in the 3rd inning as Haug goes down swinging. Baca, the victim of a looking strikeout, and Jack Sundberg strikes out swinging for the 7th Barnstormers strikeout of the evening. Well, we're finished with 3 innings of play now from Regency Furniture Stadium. You're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. Presented to you by Hometown Real Estate. It's 2-0 Barnstormers.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
Top of the fourth inning, it is Denson Hall back on the mound. First pitch is a called strike on Anthony Peroni, the catcher who bats eighth for the Lancaster Barnstormers. It is a 2-0 lead for Lancaster. They scored 1 run in the second. They scored 1 run in the third. They have 4 hits and 6 base runners through 3+ innings of work from Denson Hall. The 0-1 pitch way inside. And it chases Peroni off the plate. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Meanwhile, Oscar De La Cruz for Lancaster has been dealing on the mound. 1-1 foul back. The count 1-2 now on the right-handed hitting catcher. Top of the fourth inning. Barnstormers have scored 2 runs on 4 hits. The Blue Crabs, no runs on 1 hit. Peroni looks at ball 2, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball from Denson Hall was low and out of the zone. Denson Hall has allowed 2 runs, but just 1 earned run. As a 2-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball over towards center field. It's Zach Collier who ranges slightly over to right center and makes the catch for the first out.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Jake Hoover.
Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are wearing the Baltimore Elite Giants uniforms, an old Negro Leagues team. It's a pretty cool jersey. It's the Baltimore script across the front, and then in small letters underneath it, it says Elite Giants. First pitch, a little bit inside on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Fans could have gotten a look at these jerseys a little bit in advance, as our terrific design department here, creative design, did a jersey swap. It was Jerron Nathan who did the work there. 1-0 pitch, ground ball over towards second base. It was fielded by Wilansky, who tosses over to first base, and there are 2 away. Jerron created the jersey swap and put it on Jared Walker, who is playing in today's ball game. You can see him in reality in this Baltimore Elite Giants uniform. Got to see it virtually through his fantastic work. 2 outs, top of the fourth. 2-0 Barnstormers. We're going to get to that first trivia question after this first pitch to Shawan Dunston. Breaking ball, called strike. We will read you the question now, and then we will type it in the YouTube chat so you don't miss it. Write your answer in the YouTube chat. So a study found that how many Major League Baseball players served in the Civil War? 0-1 pitch was outside. Again, we will never know how many sadly died in that war and never got to play, but how many actually survived the war and then later went on to play in Major League Baseball? This is based on a Sabres research study. 1-1 pitch. Ran way up and in on the batter, Shawan Dunston. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes as it did clip his bat. It's a foul ball. Base paths are empty with 2 outs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on the lefty Dunston. Dunston digs his back foot into the lefty batter's box. Count 2-1, not 1-2. I was a little confused myself. I didn't think it clipped his bat, so it ran way up and in on him. It was 2-1. Not 1-2. Well, we're getting mixed signals here. That pitch is certainly outside. I see from our TrackMan that it's called a foul ball. Count 3-1. It was not, in fact, a foul ball. I thought it might have clipped his bat, but in fact did not. 3 balls and 1 strike on the batter, Shawan Dunston. Pitch, that's low. It's ball 4. And there is a runner on first base with 2 outs. Denson Hull was looking for his first clean inning, but he surrenders a walk with 2 outs in the 4th. The run that was scored back in the 2nd inning, or I beg your pardon, it's the run in the 3rd inning, is being ruled an unearned run, as a call has been changed to an error back in that 2nd inning. It was on a throwing error. Now a throw down to first, nearly got him. Jared Walker thought he had tagged out Shawan Dunston, but the first base umpire, Jerry Burrish, says he got back in there safely. A 1 on with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, called strike. Doesn't get much more centrally located in the zone than that pitch. But Melvin Mercedes looks at it, count 0-1 on the righty. Mercedes walked, he reached 3rd base. The bases were left loaded back in the 1st. Hull tosses over to 1st, checking on Shawan Dunston. Dunston drove in Anthony Peroni back in the 1st inning. An RBI triple that scored Peroni from first base. And the home plate umpire, Mike Williams, calls time. In the 3rd inning, Andretti Cordero singled. Then he came around to score on a ground out towards shortstop. And now a throw to first. They got him. Well, Denson Hull kept on checking on him. It is a 1-2-3 inning, about as unconventional of one as you're going to find, as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs escape the 4th without any damage. It's 2-0 Barnstormers as we go to the bottom of the 4th on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Dalton Geeky, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, the Blue Crabs look to do some damage in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Barnstormers lead the Blue Crabs 2-0. First pitch on Michael Wolanski is a low and away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the fourth inning. Barnstormers with 1 run in the second, 1 run in the third. The Blue Crabs have no runs on just 1 hit. First pitch from Oscar De La Cruz, or the 1-0 I should say, is upstairs, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Michael Wolanski has the longest active hitting streak for the Blue Crabs at 12 games. Ryan Haug also has a 12-game on-base streak. 2-0, that's inside. And the count 3 balls and no strikes. Wolanski hitting .318 overall on the season, but his numbers with the Blue Crabs far, far better, as he's hitting .408 with an 1128 OPS. 3-0 pitch. Well, it's a no pitch. He was just getting another ball from the umpire, Mike Williams. 3-0 offering now. That's up and in. It's a 4-pitch walk. Not missing by much on any of those pitches. And we're all rather close. As Zach Collier will dig in from the left side. Zach Collier taps home plate twice. Runner on first base with nobody out as Wolanski reaches to get things started. First pitch is away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Oscar De La Cruz has struck out 7 batters. 7 of his 9 outs have come via the K. 1-0 offering upcoming to Collier. This one grounded foul, first base side. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. So as far as consecutive strikeouts, Oscar De La Cruz had 4. As far as consecutive outs that were strikeouts, it's an ongoing streak. And Oscar De La Cruz has 6 straight. Struck out the side in the second, struck out the side in the third. The 1-1 pitch, that's low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out. And Oscar De La Cruz, for the first time today, is having a little bit of trouble finding that strike zone, and he's not missing by much. A couple of those pitches in the at-bat to Wolanski are missing by less than an inch. 2-1 pitch. That's just slightly inside. And Oscar De La Cruz is saying, I'm really right there. He thinks he's painting the corners. Home plate umpire Michael Williams says, no, you're missing the corners. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-0 Barnstormers as Zach Collier ahead in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. With a runner on first base and no outs. The pitch, line drive, right side, base hit. Wolanski pulls up at second base. There are runners on first and second with nobody out. The Blue Crabs pick up their second hit of the day on a single between first and second from Zach Collier. This is the first semblance of a rally the Blue Crabs have had today. The first time 2 base runners have reached in an inning. Jared Walker will dig in from the left side. Walker followed by Crosby and DeLuca. De La Cruz has thrown 57 pitches as the first pitch runs inside on Jared Walker. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Walker struck out his first time up. He was the one who started this consecutive strikeout streak from Oscar De La Cruz. That's still ongoing. 1-0 pitch, line drive, deep left center field, back to the warning track at the wall. This ball is gone. A 3-run home run from Jared Walker It's his 12th home run of the year. He drives in RBIs 32, 33, and 34 as he goes the other way over the Blackstone management sign and gives the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead. Well, Jared Walker was just 1 for 13 in this homestand, but he comes up with a major 3-run shot over the wall in left field. The Blue Crabs have put an exclamation point on this inning. It was a walk from Wolanski, a single from Collier, and now Jared Walker got a hold of one and blew it out of the ballpark the other way for a 3-run home run. Well, it's the first pitch to Alex Crosby, a called strike at the knees, and the count no balls and 1 strike. Southern Maryland has put up a 3 spot in the inning. The pitch, that's low and in. The count now 1 ball and 1 strike on the lefty Crosby, who looks to extend his hit streak. 1-1 offering. That's low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. DeLuca will follow Crosby here in the 4th inning. DeLuca, the only batter who had a hit for the Blue Crabs coming into the 4th, but now it's a 3-0 Blue Crabs lead. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball. First base side, and it dips foul at the last moment as it was tiptoeing the foul line on the first base side. And it does go foul at the last moment. Crosby with hits in 8 consecutive games coming into this one. On the homestand, 7 for 19 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Well, the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the lefty Alex Crosby. Well, Oscar De La Cruz has thrown 63 pitches, 40 strikes. He's had a little bit more trouble with the strike zone in this inning, though. 2-2, 1-2 is fouled back. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, we're getting mixed signals on the count. I've got 1 and 2. You've got scoreboards around the ballpark that have 1 and 2. Our online reporting platform has 2 and 2. 1-2 pitch. That's low. It should be 2 and 2 now. Oscar De La Cruz had come into this one with an ERA of 5.2 as the 2-2 pitch is driven foul. First base side. But his last start was when he really ran into trouble against Lexington. 4 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs. Coming into that start, he had a 3.86 ERA. Well, tonight, through 3+ innings of work, he's allowed 3 runs on a 3-run shot. 2-2 pitch. Big wave and a miss. Alex Crosby down on strikes. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. And there is 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. And here comes Joe DeLuca. Blue Crabs have jumped on top with a 3-run shot from Jared Walker the other way over the Blackstone management sign in left field. A blast with that opposite field power. First pitch, big wave and a miss from Joe DeLuca, and the count 0-1. Well, back to that last point for Walker. He has 12 home runs. That leads all Blue Crabs players. 0-1 pitch, that's low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Home run leaders in the league, though, it's Carlos Franco from York. He has 18. He's tied with Courtney Hawkins from Lexington, who has 18. Kelly Dugan for Lancaster has 17. And the 1-1 a little bit inside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Jared Walker has assumed full possession of 4th place on that list with his 12th home run. Zach Wheel from High Point has 11. 2-1 pitch. That's low. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. DeLuca takes a practice swing and digs back in. He roped a double down the third baseline his last time up. 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Blue Crabs have jumped on top. Here is the 3-2 offering. Swinging a foul ball, his left foot. DeLuca wears a shin pad on the right leg. He does not wear one on the left leg. That one's going to hurt a bit. The shin pad is in the front of his shin and wraps around toward the inside of that right leg. Nobody on and 1 out after the 3-run home run that cleared the bases from Jared Walker. Pitch to DeLuca, fouled back, floats well into the seats, takes a couple of ricochets through another man's hands, down toward that front row. Who got it? I'm not sure if anybody got it. It bounced back onto the field. Oh, how about that? There's a small gate down one of the aisles next to the Blue Crabs dugout, and that's where that ball hit. 3-2 pitch, fouled away yet again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 3 spot for Southern Maryland in the 4th has put them ahead for the first time tonight. Blue Crabs did not score first tonight. They did not score first last night. They won yesterday. They lead here. Magic number 4 to clinch a playoff spot. We'll break down what that means in a short bit. 3-2 pitch. That's outside. DeLuca walks. 1 on and 1 out for the Blue Crabs in the 4th. The magic number is the number of specific games needed for the team to clinch a playoff spot. So what that means in this case is that the Blue Crabs lead the division. You need to win the division in the first half to clinch that spot in the first half. Otherwise, you need to win the division or win a wild card spot under other circumstances in the second half. But going back to what that means yet again, it's that the Blue Crabs their magic number is 4. So in the Blue Crabs case, they need to win 2 more games and have the Ducks lose 2 more games, or any combination of 4 Blue Crabs wins or Ducks losses. So if the Blue Crabs win 4 more, if the Ducks lose 4 more, any combination of those, which happens the quickest, will be the official clinch for the Blue Crabs, at which point the Ducks could no longer catch the Blue Crabs in the division. It's a little bit complicated. I know a lot of people have a tough time exactly understanding what all the intricacies mean of the magic number. Just imagine it as the total wins or Ducks losses. It's 4 is all that's needed for the Blue Crabs to clinch. The first pitch to Braxton Lee is rocketed foul overhead. It bounces all the way back onto the field. Ray Ortega tosses to Eddie Butler, who tosses to the bullpen, and Matt Latos is going to hand out this ball to a fan, I'd imagine. Hasn't given it to a fan yet. Count no balls and 1 strike. And he tosses it up to a fan, a little bit short. A kid with the glove goes and chases after it. Oscar De La Cruz, meanwhile, tosses over to first base to check on Joe DeLuca. Count no balls and 1 strike on Braxton Lee, who lined that ball foul. Hit the side of the roofing on the concourse level before deflected back into play. Quite a few fans out in the Legends Club as well tonight. And a substantial gathering in the traditional seats as well, as the 0-1 pitch is outside in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike on the lefty. It's Braxton Lee who digs back in. Lee 0 for 1 today. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A 1-run lead for the Blue Crabs in the fourth. 1-1 is cut on and fouled back to the netting yet again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Austin Rooney, glad that you decided to join us on a terrific evening for baseball. Temperatures in the low 70s, upper 60s with the wind, as it now more gently blows out toward right center field. Pitch, line drive, left field, deep. This one tails down the line. It's off the UA Local 5 sign. A quick throw into second, but it's Braxton Lee with a 1-out double. Joe DeLuca from first to third. The Blue Crabs have 2 in scoring position with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning, and things have spiraled a little bit for Oscar De La Cruz. So it's Braxton Lee on second. It's Joe DeLuca on third. And Ryan Haug will dig in from the right side. Only 2 other players in this game with streaks have not been able to reach base or add to their hit streak. For Ryan Haug, it's a 12-game on-base streak as the pitch runs inside in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan Haug has reached base in 12 consecutive games, 13 consecutive. It's updated this morning after last night's game, where he was 1 for 2 with a walk. Swinging a line drive, it's right to the shortstop Hoover, who grabs it and runs Braxton Lee back to the bag. And there are now 2 outs, a well-hit ball from Ryan Haug. But he's out, and there are 2 down in the fourth. He's unable to drive in a run as Michael Baca will come to the plate. Baca hitting .235 on the season. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth inning. Southern Maryland has a 3-2 edge over Lancaster. First pitch to Baca. Line drive foul, back behind home plate. Meanwhile, it's Joe DeLuca, who's walking up and down that third baseline. Resets back to the bag. Braxton Lee, a significant lead off second. For DeLuca, it's a lead from third. 0-1 pitch, line drive, center field. It's the center fielder coming in, and he makes the catch. Shawan Dunston got a good jump on that ball, and he makes the catch for the final out. Was the left fielder Trayvon Robinson, who rockets that ball to the left field wall. It gets beyond the wall and over toward that space between the picnic deck and the clubhouse area. I'm not sure anybody's going to get that one. Either way, it's the Blue Crabs who tally 3 runs across in the bottom of the fourth inning as they also strand 2, but at the end of 4, it's the Blue Crabs 3 and the Barnstormers 2. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson and the whole team, trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289.
Top of the fifth inning, the Blue Crabs on top 3-2 over the Barnstormers. Denson Hull back out to the mound. This one popped up behind home plate as the leadoff man, Melvin Mercedes, fouls that one away. And the count, no balls and one strike. Mercedes was at the plate back in the top of the fourth when Shawan Dunston was picked off of first base by Denson Hull. Hull has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits through 4+ innings today. 0-1 offering. Low and in. It chases Mercedes off the plate, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Crabs are honoring Juneteenth today as they wear the Baltimore Elite Giants uniforms. As the 1-1 offering. Up and away, count 2 balls and 1 strike. Austin, really glad that you've joined us today from the Reg in Waldorf. Our trivia question today has to do with the Civil War in honor of Juneteenth. It says, the trivia question is, how many MLB players served in the Civil War? The answer to come in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-1 pitch. That's up and away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. If you think you know or want to put out a guess, write your answer in the YouTube chat. If you're over on the Facebook chat, we invite you to join us on YouTube to write that answer in, and we will say your answer on air. We have 2 answers in so far. And the 3-1 pitch is up and away for ball 4 on Melvin Mercedes. We'll give you some updates for some scores from around Major League Baseball and some scores around the Atlantic League as well. In the Atlantic League, the Blue Crabs have some interest in what's happening in Long Island because the Blue Crabs could clinch a playoff spot as early as tomorrow, but they're going to need some help from Long Island. The Ducks would need to lose both games, and the Blue Crabs would need to win both. But it's the Ducks who have a lead right now, 4-0 over the Wild Health Genomes. First pitch to the 3-hitter Andretti Cordero is a called strike, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Other scores from around the league. One game has gone final. It is the Charleston Dirty Birds who win 7-6 in game 1. As the 0-1 pitch is a little bit inside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. No outs, runner on first base in the top of the 5th. The Blue Crabs lead by 1. So Charleston beat High Point 7-6. Game 2 of that series will come later this evening. The York Revolution won 10-0 over Staten Island. And Gastonia and Lexington are level at 1. Top of the 5th, 3-2 Blue Crabs. Pitch from Denson Hull is away, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Hull's control has been up and down today. Thrown 84 pitches, 47 strikes, and 37 balls. It's about a 60-40 rate, and you'd love to be a little closer to 70-30 or 65-35 as far as strikes to balls ratio. And Hull right now it's 60-40. Count 2 balls and 1 strike on Andretti Cordero. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball, center field, straight away. Collier took 2 steps back, now 5 steps in and makes the catch for the first out. Top of the 5th inning. Barnstormers trail the Blue Crabs by 1. It's Ladarius Clark who will come to the plate next. Clark has reached twice. He singled in the first. He walked in the third. Denson Hull has gone 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned. The real blemish there is the 4 walks and the 1-hit batsman. He's offered 9 base runners. And the first pitch to Clark is in there is low for a ball, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Didn't see a signal, but it was originally put up on the scoreboard as a strike. 1 ball and no strikes in the top of the 5th. 1-0. That's upstairs. Count 2-0. Blue Crabs are 39-12 this season. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Might be Bradley Roney warming up, though it's tough to see from this angle. 2-0 pitch popped up in foul territory. Floats towards the stands and gets out of play. Denson Hall's pitch count getting up there. It's 88 pitches now through 4 1/3. You'd have to think 100 pitches is probably right around the cap for Denson Hall. Stan Kleiber might let him go a little more to finish the inning, but this one swinging a line drive deep left field, way back toward the wall at 1, hops the wall, takes an awkward bounce. Sundberg throws this one in, but rounding third is Mercedes. A throw to the plates offline. Now going to third, Cordero. This one goes into left field, and that's going to allow Cordero to score. Or I beg your pardon, it's Ladarius Clark who comes in and scores. So a home run of sorts. It's now a 4-3 lead for the Barnstormers on a line drive to left. Sundberg played it to short. Michael Baca's throw was wide. Haug threw to third. That went past the third baseman Crosby and into left field. And it was Ladarius Clark who came all the way around and scored a run for the Barnstormers. It's a 4-3 lead for Lancaster on an unconventional play of all unconventional plays. And just like that, it's the Barnstormers who jumped back on top. The first pitch to the 5-hitter now, Trayvon Robinson. It's inside on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Just when things looked like they were going quite well on the mound for Denson Hall. Again, running into trouble. Well, the 1-0 pitch was in, and after all that, Darrell Thompson's going to come out to have a chat with Denson Hall. There's still only 1 out in the inning. Was a fly out to center from Cordero. Meanwhile, Ladarius Clark had a double, and the throwing error from Haug brings him in. Meanwhile, Melvin Mercedes scored from first. It's Trayvon Robinson at the plate, and Hull has struggled to find his control today. Blue Crabs have Bradley Roney warming up. I just combined Roney and warming. But Bradley Roney is warming up in the bullpen. Blue Crabs trail by 1. Have a 13-game lead in the division for now, with 15 games remaining in the first half. Pitch low and in. And now the count, 2 balls and no strikes on the righty, Trayvon Robinson. Go back over the 5th inning, and after this pitch, 2-0. Called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Melvin Mercedes led off the inning with a walk. A fly out from Cordero. And an RBI double that Ladarius actually scored on that play as the 2-1 pitch is foul back behind the plate, and the count 2-2. As he doubled to left, throw came into shortstop. He went to third on the throw home. The throw over to third base was overthrown and went all the way home. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning, 4-3. The Barnstormers lead. Denson Hall the pitch. High pop up, first base side, out of play. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Temperature at first pitch was 74 degrees. Wind at 14 miles per hour. was the official number, but gusts were consistently in the 20s. Wind has calmed down significantly. Base path's empty, 2-2 pitch, low and in, count 3-2 now. We're going to run you through some scores from around sports. The College Baseball World Series, Major League Baseball, and the Atlantic League in the top of the 5th inning. 1 out, count 3 balls and 2 strikes. High Point and Charleston scoreless in Game 2. York over Staten Island 10-0. Gastonia and Lexington even at 1. The important game, Long Island and the Wild Health Genomes, is 4-0 Long Island. And 3-2 pitch, shot foul sharply, third base side, and the count 3-2 it remains. The Charleston Dirty Birds beat the High Point Rockers 7-6 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Yesterday in the College World Series was Notre Dame over Texas and Oklahoma over A&M. 3-2 pitch, high fly ball, left field. Playable for Sundberg, who's a couple steps in front of the warning track where he makes the catch for the second out. There are 2 outs in the top of the 5th. It's Colton Shaver who will come to the plate. Denson Hull has thrown 96 pitches. Shaver is warming up. Shaver's at the plate, I beg your pardon. The pitch is upstairs. Count 1 ball and no strikes. It's actually Patrick Baker who's been warming up for the Blue Crabs. Bullpen is a solid 250 feet from me down that left field line. It's sometimes tough to tell who it is. The pitch is inside now on Shaver, and the count 2 balls and no strikes on the righty. Denson Hull has thrown 97 pitches, just 55 strikes. 2-0 delivery. Foul ball, first base side. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Denson Hull entered this game with a 3.78 ERA. It's at 3.95 right now. Pitch. Well, it was awfully close. Missed a little inside. Count 3 balls and 1 strike now. Problem for Hull has less been the earned runs. He's only allowed 2 of those. But has been much more about the walks. He's allowed 5 hits and 4 walks. This one, line drive, left field line. It's a screamer into the corner. Jack Sundberg sprints over to play it. Meanwhile, it is Colton Shaver who jogs into second base with a 2-out double. Well, that was a hot shot off the bat of the catcher. It was at first base today, actually. He caught yesterday. Ropes it down the left field line. There's a runner on second base with 2 outs. Number 22, Patrick Baker, back and warming in the Blue Crabs bullpen. You'd have to imagine the leash is very short for Denson Hull. Having gone 4 2/3 innings, he has surrendered a pair of runs in the 5th. First pitch called strike on Trace Lair. That run important, or that base hit important for Hull because it solidifies an earned run against Denson Hull. It would have been 4 runs, 2 earned. It's now 4 runs and 3 earned. As Trayvon Robinson, or Ladarius Clark, I should say, would have been left on base after his double, should not have scored from the error. But instead, with that double, he would have come around and scored. So the run is now earned. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Trace Lair. Pitch, that's away. Count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Barnstormers with 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th. The Blue Crabs tallied all 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 pitch, line drive, left field, it's shallow, a long run for Sundberg. He dives and can't get there. 1 more run's going to score. It's Shaver from second. And it's an RBI double from Trace Lair, who blooped one down the left field line. And it drives in Colton Shaver from second base. A sliding attempt from Sundberg, who raced over to it, but was a little bit late. And now it is a 5-3 lead for the Lancaster Barnstormers. And now we've got a change defensively for the Blue Crabs. It's going to be the end of the day for Denson Hall. The Blue Crabs will lose their designated hitter today. Their DH bats in the 6th spot as Colton Shaver doubles, it's followed by a Trace Lair double and an RBI. I'd have to imagine the reasoning here is to keep Joe DeLuca in this ball game, which will likely mean that Joe DeLuca is going to go to first base, and Jack Sundberg will probably exit this ball game, as Jared Walker will likely move to left field in place of Jack Sundberg. And the designated hitter spot will be filled by committee. Blue Crabs have a couple of options back there on the bench today, as Matt Hibbert, Ian Yetzko, and Raul Shah all have the day off. David Harris may or may not be available as the pinch hitter. It's the end of the line for Denson Hall. He exits this game. 5 runs, 4 earned. He's responsible for the runner on second base. It's a 5-3 lead for the Barnstormers. We'll step aside and break down all the details on Patrick Baker when we come back to call it to the bullpen for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the top of the 5th inning. Joe DeLuca in this ball game. are back in the bottom or the top of the fifth inning still. Runner on second base, 2 outs as Patrick Baker is in the ball game. First pitch from Baker is a called strike on Anthony Peroni in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Baker, a hard-throwing right-handed pitcher who enters today's ball game with a 0.90 ERA. Runner on second base, still 2 outs. 5-3 Barnstormers. Pitch. Fastball upstairs. It was close in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we're happy you decided to join us today. It's a terrific evening for baseball. The runner on second base is Trace Lair, who just drove in Colton Shaver on an RBI bloop double. 1-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss, count 1-2. If anyone has any other answers to our trivia question, which is how many MLB players served in the Civil War, the answer will be coming up in the bottom of the fifth inning, so stay tuned for that. The count 1-2 on Anthony Peroni. With a runner on second and 2 outs. Patrick Baker trying to close things out here in the fifth. Pitch. Check swing. Motion down to first base. The first base umpire, Jerry Burrish, says he held up. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hound back to his squat. There was a change defensively for the Blue Crabs. Michael Baca has exited. Raul Shaw in, Wolanski to short. It's unclear exactly what this means for this ball game. But the 2-2 pitch, called strike 3. And it's Patrick Baker who enters and quickly retires Anthony Peroni via the strikeout. It's a 5-3 lead for the Lancaster Barnstormers as they score 3 runs in the top of the fifth. We'll step aside when we come back. The Blue Crabs coming to bat in the bottom of the fifth inning. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's Jack Sundberg who steps in from the left side. First pitch from Oscar De La Cruz is inside of the count. 1 ball and no strikes. You just saw in between innings the Blue Crabs flash come up a little bit short against a quick younger fan. You know, it's awfully tough. He's got quite a disadvantage as the 1-0 pitch is a called strike on Jack Sundberg. Count 1 ball and 1 strike in the bottom of the 5th. 5-3 Lancaster. We'll be back to that in a moment. 1-1 pitch. Just a little bit up and away. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, Blue Crabs have a flash. They do this flash event in between the innings where you've got this fast runner who's been nicknamed, I believe it's the Braves who nicknamed him the Flash because he's so fast. The 2-1 pitch called strike on the inner half. Count 2-2. And he competes against a fan who gets a large head start every game. Well, here with the Blue Crabs, we have done the same thing. We have our own version of the flash and couldn't quite catch a quick younger fan as the 2-2 pitch inside, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Sundberg, who's gone down via the way of the K his last 2 times up. Blue Crabs sent 8 batters to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning. Oh, it's the freeze, not the flash. 3-1 pitch, high pop-up, third base side. Third baseman Trace Lair had no idea where it was. Completely lost it, then took cover as it bounced about 3 feet away from him. Well, Sundberg has earned new life, or been given new life. Not sure he earned it, but either way, Lair couldn't find it. He covered his head, he lost it. And Sundberg will have another shot. The 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. 1 on and nobody out as Sundberg has a leadoff walk.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 12, Michael Wolanski.
Michael Wolanski comes to the plate. Wolanski walked his last time up. It was Patrick Baker who entered in the top of the 5th inning to earn the final out. 3 pitches and a strikeout. First pitch from Wolanski, a high pop-up, foul territory, bounces just behind the netting. The players for the Barnstormers having a really tough time picking the balls up. I'm not sure if it's a lighting issue. Shouldn't be a sunset issue. The sun set directly behind us, but there are no more shadows at this point. So it really shouldn't have anything to do with that. Either way, in the night sky on back-to-back pop-ups, Barnstormers players have lost them as Oscar De La Cruz fires the first to check on Jack Sundberg. His first Trace Lair in foul territory, who saw the ball bounce maybe 5 feet in front of him. So he lost it in the lights, threw up his hands, took cover, and bounced next to him. Toss over to first base. Count 0-1 on Wolanski. Oscar De La Cruz looks back at the runner at first. Pitch to Wolanski. Swinging a high fly ball straight away left field. It's Trayvon Robinson, who doesn't have to move more than a couple of steps in, where he makes the catch for the first out. 1 away in the bottom of the 5th inning, a 5-3 Barnstormers lead. Michael Wolanski has not extended his hit streak. He has extended an on-base streak to 13 games. And it brings up Zach Collier, who singled back in the 4th inning. It was a leadoff walk to Wolanski, a single from Collier, and a 3-run bomb from Jared Walker that scored the 3 runs in the 5th. Blue Crabs rallied a little more from there, but could not drive in an additional run. They trail 5-3. De La Cruz fires the first again to check on the base runner, Jack Sundberg. De La Cruz has thrown 93 pitches tonight. Barnstormers do not seem intent on losing their designated hitter in this ball game. They are already very short-staffed. Pitch to Collier, that runs inside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. We're very happy everybody has joined us tonight. We have an answer to one of another trivia question we have. We're going to get the official trivia question answer after this pitch to Collier. It was Ron Haug who was asking about the most hit batsman in a season. Ryan Haug has 18 this year. The record is 40, I beg your pardon. Doug Jennings had 40 back in 2004. Haug has 18. 2-0 pitch upcoming to Collier. It's chop foul first base side. But our official trivia question answer. Question is, how many MLB players served in the Civil War? It's in honor of our Juneteenth day today. And the answer is that a SABR, a SABR research study, found that 30 Major League Baseball players served in the Civil War. And one can only guess at how many amateur players might have come to end up playing in Major League Baseball with the countless lives lost in the Civil War. 2-1 pitch. Outside count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And it all ended, of course, by freeing the slaves in what is Juneteenth, the day that has been now commemorated a national holiday to honor the freed slaves. Union Army came through Texas and finally freed the slaves in 1865. 3-1 pitch to Collier is cut on and fouled back. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Collier at the plate. It's Jared Walker on deck. 1 on, 1 out. Oscar De La Cruz working a deep pitch count here. Pitch to Collier, swinging a foul tip as the catcher, Anthony Peroni, couldn't hold on to it. Well, Sundberg back to first base. He had taken off on the previous pitch. Amanda Malini coming in and answering that question. Well done. Wes Mumper got the answer right as far as the Civil War trivia question. 3-2 pitch is up and away to Zach Collier. And there are two on with 1 out. The Blue Crabs again putting together somewhat of a rally in the 5th. Oscar De La Cruz has not surrendered a walk, but he has surrendered has not surrendered a hit, but he has surrendered 2 walks. We'll have to see if this is going to be the end of the line. Ross Peoples back out to the mound. And Ross Peoples is serving as an all-in-one right now because of illness that has hit this team. As we're going to have to see if this will do it for De La Cruz or if he's going to stay in this ball game. It's very difficult to see from my angle whether or not there's any action in the bullpen for the Barnstormers. Either way, Oscar De La Cruz is going to stay in this ball game. The left fielder for the Barnstormers, Trayvon Robinson, was having a discussion with the Blue Crab scoreboard operator, I believe. Didn't know they were close, but that's nice. He's still talking back with him. Shot it up in the break. 2 on with 1 out. First pitch, big wave and a miss from Jared Walker, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Walker went deep to left center. Was back in the bottom of the 4th inning. It scored Zach Collier, who had singled, and Michael Wolanski, who walked prior. 0-1 pitch, another big cut and a miss, and the count 0-2. It was an opposite field 2-run home run, or 3-run home run from Jared Walker. His 12th home run of the season puts him in sole possession of 4th place in the Atlantic League in home runs. 0-2. That's low. Count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. It's Sundberg from second, Collier from first, and Jared Walker on deck. If necessary, Joe DeLuca in the hole. He's reached base both times. Crosby 0 for 2. And Sundberg, who's at the plate, is 1 for 2. But his one hit was the big hit, a 3-run home run that has the Blue Crabs in this ball game. 5-3. It's the Barnstormers on top of the Blue Crabs. 1 in the second, 1 in the third. The Blue Crabs with 3 in the bottom of the 4th, and the Barnstormers with 3 in the top of the 5th. Pitch, big swing and a miss, strike 3. High heat sizzles past Jared Walker, and there are 2 away. Well, strikeouts are not hard to come by for Oscar De La Cruz. He's thrown 104 pitches at this point in the ball game. And that fastball came in at 94. You can hold 94 to 96 throughout a start. It says something about your velocity. In Major League Baseball nowadays, everybody's throwing 93, 94. And if you want to get picked up by a Major League Baseball team, it's so important that you have those velocity numbers. As the first pitch is swung on and missed from Alex Crosby. Count, no balls and 1 strike. 2 runners on with 2 out in the 5th inning. 0-1, a wave and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. This is what Oscar De La Cruz does when he's pitching well. He attacks the zone and then buries breaking balls effectively. Oh, 0-2 the count. Well, on to those who got the answer correct in the YouTube chat between innings here before the 6th inning. We'll have another trivia question for you in the top of the 6th. 0-2 pitch, dribbler, first base side, count 0-1. 5-3 Barnstormers. Scored 1 in the 2nd and 3rd. 3-run shot from Jared Walker in a situation very similar to this last inning. But a big top of the 5th inning for the Barnstormers. No home run in that inning per se, though it was a double, and a run came around and scored on a bizarre play from Ladarius Clark. Runners go on the pitch. It's swung on and missed. Crosby down swinging, and that ends the 5th inning. A terrific pitch from Oscar De La Cruz, who found himself with control issues to start the 5th. He comes back with a pair of Ks to end the 5th inning. We are finished with 5 from the Reg in Waldorf. The Blue Crabs are still fighting from behind. They trail 5-3. Stick with us as we go to the top of the 6th in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, it's Jake Hoover who will lead things off for the Barnstormers in the 6th inning. Lancaster leads 5-3. First pitch from Patrick Baker is fouled back in the count 0-1 on Jake Hoover, who wears a couple different jerseys. He's normally number 7, but every once in a while he wears 20. Patrick Baker only had to face one batter in the bottom of the 5th inning. Came in with 2 outs and a runner on second. 0-1 pitch. That's away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs have a 6-game win streak on the line. If they come back to win today's game, the 6-game win streak would extend to a tied for second on the season in a 7-game win streak. The Blue Crabs have won 12 in a row this year. It's a franchise record. They've also won 7 straight. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count 1-2. High heat from Patrick Baker. Well, Patrick Baker can throw as hard as 98, even touch 100, but his fastball velocity right now down in the low 90s. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, first base side. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. And his control is better when the velocity's a little down. He can throw as hard as 100 actually on occasion, but velocity isn't quite as hard in those moments. Went with an 81-mile-an-hour slider on that foul ball. Count 1-2 on Hoover. Hoover followed by Dunston and Mercedes. 1-2 pitch. That's away. Count 2-2. In today's ball game, Hoover 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded over to second base. Patrick Baker's ERA, a dazzling 0.89. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A foul tip into the mitt of Ryan Haug. And there is one away. Back-to-back strikeouts to start things for Patrick Baker. He struck out a batter at the end of the 5th, and he strikes out the leadoff man here in the 6th. Back to the top of the lineup for Shawan Dunston. Dunston walked back in the 4th, had an RBI triple back in the 2nd inning. Control was an issue. There's no doubt about it for Denson Hull today. First pitch called strike. Hull went 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Dunston bats from the right side. The first pitch was a swing and a miss. Count 0-1 now on the right, on the lefty. 0-1 pitch. That's a little low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 6th inning, a 5-3 lead for the Barnstormers. Let's go back how we got here. Run in the 1st, run in the 2nd for the Barnstormers. The Blue Crabs picked up 3 in the bottom of the 4th. The Barnstormers with 3 in the 5th. 1-1, big wave and a miss. Count 1-2. And Patrick Baker's velocity seems to be going up as he pitches deeper into this ball game. 94 on the first called strike. He was in the low 90s earlier. Throws a changeup in the mid-80s. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Elevated fastball from Baker that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. There is more action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It's tough to tell for sure, but it appears to be Geeky warming up in the bullpen. Dalton Geeky has been receiving more action recently, along with Bradley Roney. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. 3 straight Ks to get things going for Patrick Baker. Fastball sizzles past the bat of Shawan Dunston, and there are 2 away in the 6th. Well, he got Anthony Peroni looking at a breaking ball to end the 5th. Strikeout of Jake Hoover on a fastball to get things going in the 6th. And the 2nd out, another strikeout swinging on Shawan Dunston. Pitch. This one, a ground ball toward the right side from Mercedes, fielded by the second baseman Shaw. He tosses to first. That'll do it. We're finished with 5.5 from the Reg in Waldorf. It's the Blue Crabs who still trail 5-3. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, Matt Hibbert will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Blue Crabs did a bit of a double switch, but Joe DeLuca has exited the game in the process, and Matt Hibbert comes up as the pinch hitter. First pitch is low and away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Southern Maryland was hoping that Joe DeLuca would stay in this ball game for at least another at bat. But Crosby was the last at bat in the 5th, which means that Hibbert has come in his place. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Matt Hibbert against the new pitcher, Eric Manoah, who was making just his second appearance of the season. Was picked up in the past week from the Barnstormers. 1-1, big wave and a miss, count 1-2. Hibbert leading things off for the Blue Crabs, but behind in the count quickly 1-2. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 3. Hibbert goes down on strikes. And there's 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 13.
Here comes Braxton Lee. Eric Manoah has gone 5 2/3 innings this season, allowing just 3 hits. He also walked 3 in his last appearance, but he has not surrendered a run. The plan here is probably for him to go 2 innings, the 6th and the 7th. He went 1 inning in his first appearance, Since then, 2 and 2 1/3 inning in each one. First pitch, it's a swing at a pitch that came way inside and actually hit Braxton Lee. But he went around, and therefore it's not a hit by pitch. It's a swinging strike. Well, the count 0-1 on Braxton Lee as Ryan Haug is on deck. Well, Joe DeLuca's day finishes 1 for 1, but he came to the plate twice. 0-1 on Lee. Called strike, count 0-2. Breaking ball on the outer edge. Lee followed by Haug, the Blue Crabs winners of 6 straight, but that streak in jeopardy now. This one swinging a line drive, deep right field on the run. A terrific catch from the right fielder, Ladarius Clark. And there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ladarius Clark took away a base hit on a very hard hit ball and was nearly headed to the gap. That's baseball, folks. Hard hit balls sometimes end up in the midst of defenders, even when they're placed well. Well, Lee pulled that ball to the right side, but not enough to get a base hit. Lee 1 for 3 in today's ball game. He's followed by Ryan Haug, who stands at the plate now. First pitch, that's away. Ball 1 on Ryan Haug, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Haug bats 8th. He'll be followed by Raul Shah, who came in the game in place of Michael Baca. Baca was 0 for 2. It was all a little bit confusing as to why the change happened when Denson Hull exited the game, but either way it did. And the 1-0 pitch was in there for a called strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the 8-hitter Ryan Haug, who has reached base safely in 13 consecutive. Pitch runs inside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike now on Haug. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning for the Barnstormers. 5 runs on 7 hits for Southern Maryland. 3 runs on 4 hits. Flag continues to wave out toward right center field. 2-1, fouled back to the backstop. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blue Crabs led for just 1/2 an inning. Jared Walker went deep in the bottom of the 4th, gave the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead at the time, but the Barnstormers quickly responded in the top of the 5th with 3 runs. 2-1 pitch. 2-hopper over towards shortstop, fielded by Hoover. Strong throw across the diamond is in time to end the 6th inning. Well, the Barnstormers send down the Blue Crabs in order 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th as Southern Maryland brings in a new pitcher. We'll break down the details when we come back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Top of the 7th inning, the Barnstormers lead the Blue Crabs 5-3. As Dalton Geekie is on the mound. First pitch swinging high, chopper gets past the glove of Crosby. Throw to first is offline. There's no way they were going to have a chance at getting the batter, Andretti Cordero. As he grounded it to the left side, he's got himself a base hit in the top of the 7th inning. That brings up Ladarius Clark, who had a unique at-bat last time up. I guess that's one way to put it. He came all the way around to score on the hit. It was not a home run. It was a double and an error. As the pitch is low and away. Fielded by, nicely blocked, I should say, by the catcher Ryan Haug. Well, let's bring you the details on Patrick Baker as the Blue Crabs trail 5-3 in the 7th. 1-0 pitch. High pop-up, right field side. Shallow right field. It's Braxton Lee who enters and makes the catch. And there is one away in the top of the 7th. Well, Dalton Geekie is 0-1 this season with a 5.09 ERA. His whip at 1.98. Last year, Dalton Geekie had a very good year. 2-2 record, a 3.22 ERA, and pitched especially well down the stretch in the 2021 season. But here in 2022, he's struggled in the first half a little bit. The pitch is fouled away, third base side toward the concourse level. The count, no balls and 1 strike. One on, one out. Count 0-1 in the top of the 7th. 0-1 pitch is a little bit up and in, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. On Trayvon Robinson. Robinson is 0 for 2 tonight. He's driven in a run and reached base on a hit by pitch. This is his fourth plate appearance in the 7th inning. 1-1 is low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. This game not moving particularly quickly. Time of the game right now, 2 hours and 42 minutes through 6+ innings of play. 1 out in the 7th. And with the Blue Crabs trailing, they're scheduled to hit in the 9th. Geekie, the pitch, check swing. And motion down to second base. And it's the third base umpire, Bill Worthington, who says he holds up. Count 2 balls. Oh, did he say he went around? I guess he did. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of those rare times we've seen umpires on appeals say that the batter went around. And that time, call is that Trayvon Robinson could not hold up. 2-2. Low and in. Count 3-2. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It'll be interesting to see what direction Southern Maryland goes in. To the top of the 8th inning, I think a lot of it has to do with score. If this is a tied game, I could see the Blue Crabs turning to Andres Briseño, though he did pitch yesterday. 3-2 pitch from Geekie. Swinging a foul tip back behind home plate. Count remains 3-2. But if the Blue Crabs have trouble here in the 7th, and they may be trailing by 3 or 4 runs, or even if they're still trailing by 2, Blue Crabs might go to another option. Nick Wells has been outstanding this season. If this game's tied, I could also see them going with him in the 8th inning. Geekie, the 3-2. Low, it's ball 4. Either way, let's go back through Baker's line. Runners on first and second with 1 out. 5-3 Barnstormers. Patrick Baker followed up Denson Hall. Denson Hall went 4 2/3 innings, allowed 5 runs, 4 earned, and 11 base runners. But Patrick Baker went an inning and a third inning. They were perfect. 3 strikeouts, and the last one was a ground out from Melvin Mercedes. Well, Dalton Geekie has entered, and the Barnstormers have been a little tough to him. First pitch called strike. 2 on with 1 out. Andretti Cordero singled to the left side. Ladarius Clark popped up to right field. And Trayvon Robinson worked a walk. Count no balls and 1 strike on Colton Shaver. 0-1 pitch, that's away. Count 1-1. Still a very sizable group on hand as we get deeper into this ball game. Some younger fans even taking a nap. Got to stick around for the conclusion, though. 1-1 pitch, big wave and a miss from Colton Shaver. Count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second for the Barnstormers. Lancaster 5, Southern Maryland 1, or 3, I beg your pardon, with 1 out. Run back through this score line after this pitch. The 1-2, wave and a miss, strike 3. Shaver goes down on strikes. There are 2 away in the top of the 7th. Well, as Lancaster has scored 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 3rd. Blue Crabs 3 runs in the 4th. Gave the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead, and it was very short-lived. The Barnstormers scored 3 runs in the top of the 5th. Took a 5-3 lead. That's where we stand in the top of the 7th. Barnstormers threatening, though, with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch swinging a high pop-up right to shortstop off the bat of Trace Lair. It's smothered by the second baseman, Raul Shah, to end the inning. Well, the Barnstormers have a walk. They also added a hit, but they strand 2 at the end of 6 1/2. It's still 5-3 Lancaster. It's time to stretch in Southern Maryland. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, it's Raul Shah who leads things off. The first pitch runs way up and in and hits him on the forearm in the wrist area. And he will be at first base with nobody out. First pitch from Eric Manoah here in the 7th. And it comes way inside and hits the 9-hitter in the Blue Crabs lineup. That's Raul Shah. Here comes Jack Sundberg in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sundberg so far is 0 for 2. He did walk once. He followed by Michael Wolanski as there's a toss over to first base to check on Raul Shah. It's going to hurt, though. That ball hits you in the wrist area. It's a lot of bone in that area. First pitch is away for ball 1 on Jack Sundberg. One 0 offering. That's inside as well. Count 2-0. Manoah's gone 1 inning. Earned a strikeout in that inning. Both those pitches were awfully close. The one that was inside, the other one that was low. Blue Crabs do have action in the pen. As the 2-0 pitch is a called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Just clipped the outer edge. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. 2-1 offering. A bunt down the third baseline. It trickles foul. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both base runners were in motion. Raul Shah was ready to hit second base. It was a good bunt. If it stayed fair, it would have been a base hit for Sundberg, but it trickled foul down that third baseline. 1 on, nobody out. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sundberg. 0 for 2 today, but he has walked once. With Michael Wolanski on deck. Eric Manoah, the pitch. Awfully close. Was looking for a strike 3 call, but missed just a little bit upstairs. And the count 3-2. A breaking ball that time that was up. You ever want to hang a breaking ball if that pitch is just a couple inches lower in the strike zone? Sundberg's got a good piece of hitting on that ball. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, deep center field, sends Dunston back to the warning track where he makes the catch in front of the outdoor creation sign in left or right center field. Directly right of the batter's eye. That ball was struck about 385 feet, but Dunston tracks it down on the warning track, and there is 1 out. Michael Wolanski comes to the plate. Not a great pitch left out over the plate from Eric Manoah. It's a breaking ball at that. Was blasted to right center, but the center fielder Dunston tracked it down. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch inside for ball 1 on Wolanski. Shah took a large secondary lead, but he stays put. The Blue Crabs do have some action in the bullpen. Appears that Dario Polanco is warming up. Blue Crabs looking to keep this at a 2-run ball game. The pitch, off the outside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike now on Michael Wolanski. Following the fly out to the track in center. Beg your pardon, count 1-1. This one, swinging a line drive, left center field, long run for Dunston. He's not going to get there. It goes all the way to the wall. Raul Shaw around second. They're going to send him around third. Wolanski, meanwhile, headed into third base. It's an RBI triple. The Blue Crabs back within a run. Another big hit from Michael Wolanski at a big time in the bottom of the 7th inning. Clutch hits. That's Wolanski right now. Came through with an RBI triple here in the bottom of the 7th. This is a one-run ball game. A 5-4 contest. The tying run is just 90 feet away. And there is more action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. This appears to be Bradley Roney warming up. Zach Collier at the plate. First pitch up and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Lancaster 5, Blue Crabs 4. Blue Crabs rebranded tonight as the Baltimore Elite Giants. As part of the Juneteenth celebration, those Elite Giants trying to come up in a big spot. Line drive foul from Zach Collier. He ripped that ball. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. The infield in for Lancaster. From third to first, it's Lair, Hoover at short, Mercedes at second, and over at first base, Shaver. The 1-1 pitch came way up and in the count 2 balls and 1 strike. All 4 of them have their feet within a couple of inches of the grass. The exception over at first base, where Colton Shaver has the indent on the infield, so he's in line with the rest of the infielders. He's just about 3 feet off the grass. 2-1 pitch, way upstairs, count 3-1. And all of a sudden, Eric Manoah has had some trouble finding the strike zone. Falling behind in the count, 3-1 on Zach Collier. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. This is a 5-4 game. Manoah set. 3-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. Runners on the corners with 1 out. And it's Jared Walker who comes to the plate. And the idea here for Jared Walker has to be get a ball to the outfield. Last thing you want to do is ground into a double play in this spot. He came up very big earlier in this game with a 3-run shot over the wall in left center. He's got an opportunity to drive in the game-tying run in the bottom of the 7th. Action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It's Bradley Roney who's still throwing. I'd expect him to come into the game regardless of the outcome. In the 7th inning, fires to first, nearly got Zach Collier, who dove in safely, avoiding the tag from Colton Shaver. Walker still awaits his first pitch. 5-4. Blue Crabs trail the Barnstormers. Infield back at double play depth at the middle infield. In on the corners. First pitch to Walker, an off-speed pitch called strike. And the count 0-1. Manoah set. 0-1 pitch. Upstairs. Count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Walker taps home plate once. Pitch incoming from Eric Manoah. Here's the 1-1. Low and in. Oh, no way. Called it a strike. Oh, that looked probably 3-4 inches out of the zone. But called a strike by the home plate umpire, Mike Williams, who's been very good, I'd say, up until this point. The zone's actually been quite small. But a large strike zone on that last pitch as it appeared low and in. We'll give you the data from the TrackMan official system when we get it. Either way, the count is 1-2. It had it right on the low and inner part of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch, check swing. Did he go? Bill Worthington says no. A very slow, safe side. As the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jared Walker with runners on the corners. And 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Crabs looking to have Jared Walker come through. Alex Crosby on deck. It's Wolanski from third. Collier from first. In the bottom of the 7th inning. Manoah set. 2-2 pitch. That's up. Count 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, a 5-4 lead for Lancaster. Manoah set, 3-2, line drive foul. Was a looping and spinning line drive over toward Ray Ortega, the third base coach. Jared Walker at the plate with a 3-2 count in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs have 1 run in already. They've cut the deficit to 1. It's 5-4 Barnstormers. Major pitch coming up. Manoah the offering. Ground ball foul, first base side. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to Jared Walker. Manoah's been throwing low 90s, 90, 91, 92 on the fastball and just sent a curveball in the upper 70s that Walker got a piece of. Trying to drive in the game-tying run from third with 1 out. But it's a full count on the lefty. Went deep to left center earlier in this ball game. 3-run shot in the 4th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second is wide, and coming in from third to tie the game, Wolanski. Meanwhile, it's Zach Collier from second to third. Walker strikes out, but the Blue Crabs score the tying run as Zach Collier steals second base, an ill-advised throw to second, and meanwhile, Wolanski comes in from third to tie the ball game. Collier then advanced to third as the throw was bobbled. This is a 5-5 game in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Crabs not done yet either. Runner on third base with 2 outs as Alex Crosby comes to the plate. Crosby has hits in 8 straight, but he's 0 for 3 today. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts at that. First pitch, foul back, and the count 0-1. It's reminiscent of Joe DeLuca last night, who was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, but hit the game-winning RBI single up the middle to give the Blue Crabs a 4-3 victory. Southern Maryland has battled back in the 7th. It's a 5-5 ball game. First pitch. Big wave and a miss, or the 0-1, I should say. The first pitch was fouled back. Now the count 0-2. Crosby hitting .318 on the year. It's identical to his batting average last year at the end of the season. Not quite as much power, though. A lot more base hits. 0-2. Popped up foul yet again behind home plate. Count remains 0-2. Well, sloppy defensive play has cost the Barnstormers. A stolen base from Zach Collier allowed Michael Wolanski to come in from third. Here's the pitch. High chopper, right side, coming in. It's the second baseman, Mercedes, who flips to first in time for the final out. The Blue Crabs strand 1, but they score 2 major runs. It's a 5-5 game. We go to the top of the 8th from Regency Furniture Stadium. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Now brings us back to the top of the 8th inning. We now have a tied ball game from Regency Furniture Stadium. Top of the 8th, and Bradley Roney has entered for the Blue Crabs. Roney's number is not necessarily indicative of how well he's pitched this year. First pitch to Peroni, a fastball tailing away, and he fouls it back. Count no balls and 1 strike. Well, let's give you the numbers on the relief pitcher, Bradley Roney, who has a 1-0 record, of 4.76 ERA. 0-1. Swinging a high fly ball, deep center field. Collier back to the warning track at the wall. This one hops the wall. Collier throws this ball in quickly. It is a leadoff double from Anthony Peroni, who goes to deep center field on a fastball out over the plate. And there is one on with nobody out to get things going in the top of the 8th inning. A big time hit from Anthony Peroni gives the Barnstormers a base runner here in the top of the 8th. And not just the base runner, but one in scoring position at that. Here comes Jake Hoover, 2 strikeouts, and he grounded to second. Bradley Roney coming off of a couple of strong performances, but they get to him here. First pitch, called strike from Mike Williams on the 9-hitter. Jake Hoover. It was a close play. Hoover squared around. He pulled back, but it was still in the zone, according to Mike Williams, the home plate umpire tonight. Your umpires, Williams behind the plate, Jerry Purish at first, and Bill Worthington over at third. Barnstormers have a runner on second with nobody out. Now the bunt is down the third base line. Tough play for Walker to throw to first. In time, they got him. It was an underhand flip on a very close play, and there is one out as he did not field the ball cleanly. Meanwhile, it's Anthony Peroni from second to third base, but a big recovery play from Jared Walker as that ball ran up his forearm. He was probably going to tag him out and then look to third base as Peroni was charging in, or charging from second to third. Back to the top of the lineup. It's Shawan Dunston, the leadoff hitter, with the infield in. Toes on the grass for the middle infield. In line on the corner. First pitch, called strike. Breaking ball that time from Roney. He gets the sign from his catcher. It's Ryan Haug. Roney the pitch. Swing and a miss. Buried another breaking ball on the count 0-2. And now he's got something to work with. Has to be wary of the runner on third base, but you've got one out. You can do yourself and your team a lot of favors if you can earn a strikeout here. Can move the infield back and don't have to worry about a sacrifice fly or a fielder's choice, giving the Barnstormers a lead. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Struck him out. Major strikeout for Bradley Roney as he goes away on Shawan Dunston. There are 2 outs. A terrific pitch from Bradley Roney away from the leadoff hitter in this lineup, Shawan Dunston, for a strikeout. And now there are 2 outs in the top of the 8th. You're not out of the woods yet by any means, but at least you put yourself in a situation where you could move the infield back. And not only that, but they can't score a run on a sacrifice fly as you're 1 out away from getting out of this inning. First pitch is up and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Melvin Mercedes, who has reached twice today. Walked in the first, he walked in the 5th. Runner on third base, 2 outs. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Mercedes. Roney the offering. Called strike. Breaking ball on the outer edge. Talk about painting the corners. Bradley Roney has been working with the off-speed stuff so far tonight. Allowed a leadoff double since then. Sacrifice bunt and a strikeout. 1-1 pitch. That's away. Fastball tailed away from the batter Melvin Mercedes and out of the strike zone. 5-5 ball game. Blue Crabs scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th to level the score. But the Barnstormers threatening to take the lead right back with a runner on 3rd and 2 outs. Roney the pitch. Swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Again, 2 strikes on the batter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blue Crabs and Barnstormers level at 5. And with first base open and 2 outs, again, you've got a little more leeway. Throw something up and out of the zone. I'd imagine he's not going to lie something right over the plate with 2 outs. And 2 strikes on a batter. 2-2. He attacked right away with a fastball. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled away by Melvin Mercedes, back to the netting on that last pitch. It's Anthony Peroni who doubled to get things going. He stands on 3rd base. Sack bunt from Hoover. Strikeout from Shawan Dunston. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive right to the second baseman, Raul Shah, who makes the catch chest high for the final out. Bradley Roney works himself into a jam. He works himself out of the jam. We're finished with 7.5 from the Reg in Waldorf. The Blue Crabs will look to take the lead when we come back. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. The Blue Crabs have a pinch hitter at the plate, as David Harris is going to play today. Was not in the field, did not start as a designated hitter, as Joe DeLuca got the start at DH tonight, but had to exit the game after the double hook designated hitter rule. First pitch to Harris. That runs upstairs and inside. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Well, it's Matt Latos who's warming up in the bullpen. David Harris still batting from the right side. 1-0. Big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 9th, or bottom of the 8th inning, I should say. 1 ball and 1 strike in a tied ball game, 5-5, as Harris steps back in. He'll be followed by Braxton Lee and Ryan Haug. 1-1, and that's away. Count 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, deep center field, sends Dunston back to the warning track at the wall. It's off the top part of the batter's eye. Harris jogging into second with a leadoff double. The Blue Crabs have something cooking in the bottom of the 8th inning. A very well hit ball off the bat of David Harris, and he is promptly taken out of the game as Ian Yetzko comes in as the pinch runner. Well, the Blue Crabs have a runner in scoring position. David Harris clearly not at 100%, but he hit that ball off the top of the batter's eye in center field. And managed to trot into second base as Braxton Lee's coming to the plate. And Stan Clyburn wanted to make sure it was clear that Ian Yetzko had entered the ball game. A bunt down the third base side, but it goes foul on the count. No balls and 1 strike as the Blue Crabs trying to do anything to advance the runner to third base, put themselves in a situation where they can win this ball game. Matt Leto swarming up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Runner on second base with nobody out. Runner on second base. It's Ian Yetzko who pinch ran for David Harris. This is a bunt now. Third base side. Going to be a tough play. The throw to first base is in time. It's a great play by Eric Manoah, who ran over to that ball down the third base side, gobbled it up, and fired to first in time. Meanwhile, Ian Yetzko to third base. A perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by Braxton Lee. Here's Haug. He'll be followed by Raul Shah. It's no secret Shah has had a little bit of a tough time in his more recent at-bats. Was hitting upwards of 360 earlier this year. He's now down at 240. With a runner on third and 1 out, there's now a meeting at the mound for Lancaster. Eric Manoah has gone 2 1/3 innings. He has surrendered 2 runs, including the tying runs. As Ross Peoples, the only coach who does not have illness on the mound. Well, Matt Leto swarming up in the bullpen, have a shot of him right there. Blue Crabs trying to score the go-ahead run and put him in the ball game in the top of the 9th inning to close things out. Ryan Haug comes to the plate. Runner on third base, 1 out. First pitch is away for ball 1 on Ryan Haug. Eric Manoah staying in this game. He's now thrown 46 pitches, including 28 strikes. Control hasn't been the major issue. The Blue Crabs have hit him pretty well. 1 out. The runner on third. 1-0. That runs way up and in. Count 2-0. Yetzko stands on third base. Infield is in. At shortstop, Hoover just off the grass. At second base, Mercedes' toes, they're on the grass. And at first base, Shaver in line with the grass. A little further back at third as Trace Lair has to hold Yetzko on. 2-0 pitch in the dirt. Count 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised this is one of those more unintentional, intentional walks to get to Raul Shah as opposed to face Ryan Haug. .3-0. That was close. It missed. It's ball 4. For Ryan Haug, it's the first time he's reached tonight. He extends an on-base streak to 13 games. And it's Raul Shah who will come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning, and about as clutch of a spot as you're going to find. Blue Crabs are out of options on the bench, though. Blue Crabs went to Matt Hibbert to start. They swapped in Raul Shah. First pitch called strike. Count one ball, no balls and 1 strike. They've gone to David Harris. They've gone with Ian Yetzko as a pinch runner. Manoa, 0-1. Wave and a miss. Fastball beat him. Went upstairs, and Shah swung through it. Raul Shah reached on a hit by pitch in his last at-bat. Count no balls and 2 strikes, though. Runners on the corners in a 5-5 ball game. The Blue Crabs looking to take the lead for the first time since the 4th inning. Swan swinging a ground ball, takes an awkward bounce, deflects off of Mercedes' glove and into center field. It's a base hit. From third, it's Ian Yetzko who scores. The Blue Crabs have taken a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Raul Shah comes up big as he scores or drives in the run from third base. It was Ian Yetzko who had pinch run for David Harris, who got things started in the 8th inning with a leadoff double. And it's Raul Shah who drives in the run on an RBI single. 6-5 Blue Crabs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Matt Latos warming up, trying to finish the job. The first pitch to Sundberg runs up and in. And that allows, and it actually gets by the catcher Peroni, which allows Ryan Haug to advance to third base. Meanwhile, it's Shaw to second. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. The Blue Crabs have an opportunity to give Latos some insurance runs. You're Jack Sundberg. Main goal's got to be to hit this ball. Get some contact on this one. If it's in the infield, if it's a tough play, Blue Crabs could score the go-ahead run or an extra run. Sacrifice fly also in the picture. 0-1 pitch. Ooh, a tough call. Breaking ball on the outside corner. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Sundberg. Jack Sundberg bats from the left side. Leadoff batter in this lineup. He'll be followed by Michael Wolanski. Pitch, swinging a line drive, deep left center field. The left fielder Robinson ranges over and makes the catch. Tagging from third and scoring Ryan Haug. The Blue Crabs have jumped ahead 7-5. It's a sacrifice fly from Jack Sundberg, who gives the Blue Crabs a 7-5 lead, and it's Michael Wolanski who will come to the plate with the Blue Crabs already leading by 2. He started a rally back in the 7th that tied the game, and he comes up with the Blue Crabs now leading by 2 runs. Sundberg gives the Blue Crabs a 7-5 lead, scoring from third. That was Ryan Haug. And meanwhile, Michael Wolanski, who's 1 for 3, he's also reached via a walk at the plate. First pitch, a little bit upstairs, count 1-0. Well, Michael Wolanski's hit streak extended to 13 games today. Ryan Haug's on-base streak to 14 games. If Alex Crosby comes to the plate in this inning, first pitch swinging high, pop-up foul territory. It's the first baseman Shaver who calls everybody off and makes the catch in foul territory to end the 8th inning. Meanwhile, it's the Baltimore Elite Giants, the name the Blue Crabs have assumed for the evening, who scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. They take a 7-5 lead over the Barnstormers, And the Blue Crabs will turn to Matt Latos in the top of the 9th inning. Don't go anywhere. The Blue Crabs looking to extend their win streak to 7 games. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th inning. It's Matt Latos who enters for the Blue Crabs, who have a 2-run lead. First batter is Andretti Cordero. The first pitch is fouled off. First base side out of play. Count, no balls and 1 strike on the righty. The Blue Crabs have given Matt Latos some room to work. Southern Maryland has taken a 7-5 game. Another comeback for the Blue Crabs. First pitch, screaming liner, third base side. Nice catch over there by a fan. Count, no balls and 1 strike in the top of the 9th inning. Count 0-2 now. Latos the pitch. Swing and a miss. He sent heat low. And Shaver chased, or Cordero I should say, chased it. And there's 1 away in the 9th. Well, Matt Latos off to a strong start here in the top of the 9th inning. Latos has more recently run himself into some trouble. In his last start, he went an inning, allowed 4 hits, he walked 1, he allowed 2 earned runs. First pitch now to Clark, line drive. It's right at Braxton Lee, who takes just 2 steps back and makes the catch for the second out. 2 up and 2 down to get things started in the 9th for Matt Latos. As Trayvon Robinson comes to the plate. Robinson 0 for 2. He's reached base twice. Also has an RBI on a ground out. That came back in the 3rd inning. We'll run you back through the scoreline. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd for the Barnstormers. The Blue Crabs responded with 3 in the bottom of the 4th. 3-run shot from Walker gave the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead. The Barnstormers picked up 3 more in the top of the 5th. Since then, 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th from the Blue Crabs. It's a 7-5 Southern Maryland lead. First pitch called strike on Trayvon Robinson at the knees. Count 0-1. 0-1. Ground ball through the right side, a base hit. Ball was a screamer off the bat of Trayvon Robinson. And the Barnstormers have the tying run come to the plate. Colton Shaver steps in. Shaver has crushed a couple of balls. Hit a fly ball to deep right field that was tracked down by Braxton Lee. And he hit a double and came around to score in the 5th inning. He does have a pair of strikeouts to his name as well. Runner on first base with 2 outs. 7-5 Blue Crabs. Pitch. Ground ball. Left side. It sneaks past the glove of Wolanski toward left field. He knocked it down, but no way he was going to have a play. And now there are 2 on with 2 outs. Tying run on first. Go-ahead run at the plate for the Barnstormers. Well, everything started with a strikeout on Andretti Cordero, a line out from Ladarius Clark. But then it was Trayvon Robinson and Colton Shaver who both reach. A pair of singles for the Barnstormers. And the tying run on base. The go-ahead run at the plate. It's Trace Lair who steps in from the left side. 7-5 Blue Crabs. First pitch to Lair. Called strike from the home plate umpire Mike Williams. He's at the knees in the count 0-1. Trace Lair 1 for 4 today. He had an RBI double back in the 5th inning. A blooper to the right side that fell in a Bermuda triangle between Braxton Lee, Michael Wolanski, and Jack Sundberg. This one swinging a high pop-up shallow left field. It's Sundberg who comes in and makes a terrific catch to end the ball game. The Blue Crabs, winners of 7 straight. They win this one 7-5. As Matt Latos induces a fly out to left field, the Blue Crabs win this series as well. They've now won 15 of the first 17 series this season. 15-1 series. They have lost just 1. They have split 1. As the Blue Crabs continue to win baseball games here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Meanwhile, around the Atlantic League, it was the Long Island Ducks who won 10-0, which means the Blue Crabs will not be able to host or not be able to clinch a playoff series during this homestand, as they will have to clinch in Long Island. The magic number is down to 3, or clinch in Staten Island. The Long Island Ducks were winners tonight, as the Blue Crabs also pick up a 7-5 come from behind win. The Barnstormers led 2-0. They led 5-3, but the Blue Crabs battling back in the 7th and 8th to score 4 runs and win this game 7-5. The relievers came through for Southern Maryland after Denson Hull had his struggles tonight. It was an inning in a third from Patrick Baker, 4 up and 4 down with 3 strikeouts. Dalton Geekie walked 1. He allowed a base hit, but worked out of trouble. He struck out 1 over an inning of work. Braxton Lee went 1 inning. He allowed 1 hit. He also struck out a batter, and Matt Latos went 1 inning. He allowed 2 hits. He also struck out 1. Well, the Blue Crabs winners 7-5. We're going to run through the scoring plays of tonight's game and a couple of key players in the ball game. Shawan Dunston got the scoring started, an RBI triple that scored Anthony Peroni in the 3rd. Trayvon Robinson scored a run as Andretti Cordero, or drove in a run as Andretti Cordero scored from 3rd base. The Blue Crabs then took the lead in the 4th. Jared Walker hit a line drive home run over the wall in left center field. That gave the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead. Fireworks will be starting momentarily, and we'll get those on screen for you as well. And it is Ladarius Clark. I'm not going to be able to bring you those fireworks. Sorry about that. Ladarius Clark doubled and scored 2 runs as it came around and scored from second base. Or I beg your pardon, Ladarius Clark doubled, and he scored Melvin Mercedes from first. And Ladarius Clark managed to also score as there was a throwing error from Ryan Haugen to left. That gave Lancaster a 4-3 lead. Trace Lair then doubled and made it a 5-3 game. Michael Wolanski fought back in the 7th. A triple on a line drive to center made it a 5-4 game. Jared Walker ended up striking out, but the ball got past the catcher in this ball game for the Lancaster Barnstormers. It was Anthony Peroni, and that allowed another run to come home and make it a 5-5 ball game. The Blue Crabs broke the tie in the 8th. It was Raul Shah who singled up the middle on a bad bounce and gave the Blue Crabs a 6-5 lead, and Jack Sundberg added a sacrifice fly to bring home Ryan Haug. Your player of the game tonight. We'll go through some of the key hitters for the Blue Crabs. No one had more than 1 hit in this contest. The Blue Crabs had just 7 hits overall as a team. But it was Jared Walker who went deep with the 3-run shot, and therefore he is tonight's player of the game. A 3-run home run to left field gave the Blue Crabs their first 3 runs of the ball game. Well, that'll do it from us tonight, everybody. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the start of the Barnstormers and Blue Crabs Game 3. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's broadcast. The Blue Crabs winners of 7 straight. They'll try to have what will be their 2nd longest win streak of the season. They can win tomorrow and extend the win streak to 8 games and continue to shrink that magic number. Have a terrific evening, everybody, and as always, let's go Blue Crabs. Good night.